EVSC Honors Jazz Ensemble this year. This is made up of students from the 5 public high schools. It's a very, very select group. And I think that if you've never heard this type group or you've never been exposed to what these kids can do from the Evansville High Schools, you're in for a big treat this evening. We have a lot of talented players, a lot of exciting solos, good music for you. And I think you'll like the style of music that we're doing. It's contemporary big band music, contemporary jazz. And we're going to open this evening's concert with a piece entitled Weekend in Monaco. It's from the jazz group The Rippingtons, and this features a very fine alto sax player, Monty Skelton. I would really like to thank Eastland for having us out here this evening. I know that this is a kind of rare treat. They're very selective on who they invite to have come out here. Of course, this is not your average group, as you can probably tell. Very, very talented, and anyway, we do appreciate them supporting instrumental music and supporting the fine arts here in Evansville. So, if you get a chance, my thank you. And also, while I'm at it, I'd like to thank Mrs. Ann Schlepper from the Evansville Courier. She had a little article there. She did that on the spur of the moment. I called her up We tried to get this concert at a different date, and we had to change it at the last minute. So anyway, I appreciate the Evansville Courier with that also. Thank you. This next piece is a blues tune. It's called Senorita Blues, and it's got some really neat, intricate parts going on here. This is going to feature John Lawton on trombone, very talented trombone soloist, and also Nate Fleming on drum set. Thank you very much. One thing I might mention about the music that we play, a lot of times you hear soloists up here, they are doing improvisation, which basically means that at the time they stand up and do their solo, they're making it up on the spur of the moment. And that's a pretty neat thing to be able to do that, and it takes some practice, takes years of trying to learn how to play and do that type thing. And so another thing about this, if you hear the solos, feel free to applaud after the solo is over and show the kids you appreciate their talent on that. So anyway, I thought I'd mention that. I also would like to recognize some people here that I see in the audience. Back here in the back, Dr. Lacey. Dr. Lacey is the head of the Jazz Ensemble Department over at the University of Evansville. And he has been over there providing a lot of kids with great education over at UV. So let's give him a hand, Dr. Lacey. And might also mention a good friend of mine that went to school there with me. And he is a saxophone teacher and fantastic player here in Evansville. He's almost the best saxophone player in town. He knows what I'm talking about. No, he is definitely, in my opinion, the best saxophone player in Evansville. He teaches Monty up here. Steve Greenwell, where's Steve at? See here? Where is he? Oh, there he is. Hey. Okay. Our next selection here, we are going to play Sweet Georgia Brown. This is kind of a Count Basie style piece. We're going to feature Zach Fuchs on piano, Chris Watson on tenor sax, and Monty Skelton on alto. very much. A little bit more about this group. This is a real short season for these guys. Basically, they audition at the end of March, right before spring break. After spring break, we come back in April, start school up for the last couple months, and they practice for 6 weeks only. There's one rehearsal a week on Tuesday evening for a couple hours. And then after that, we try to get some performances in. We performed out at This Is Our Story, which is a big instrumental music extravaganza that the school corporation puts on. And besides that, we also took the kids out on tour today. They played at 4 different middle schools, so this is the 5th performance today. Pretty tiring schedule for high school kids, but they're doing a great job with it. So anyway, that's basically what we do as far as our season is concerned. And I thought I'd take a minute to introduce the members of the group up here so you can see what kind of talent and where they're from. First of all, in our alto sax section, and he does a fantastic job. Probably one of the most talented solo players and exciting solo players I've ever seen or ever heard of in this group. And I know that's putting a lot of pressure on him, but he is really a phenomenal player. Monty Skellin, Harrison High School. And if I'd be Kenny G, I'd be a little bit worried right now. He's going to take Kenny's spot, and Kenny won't be able to sell any more CDs. Okay. And also on alto saxophone, very, very talented young man. He's just a freshman this year from North High School, Pete Anderson. And also our neighbors on the north side, and this young man is a very, very talented tenor sax player, does a lot of great solos up here, Chris Watson from Central High School. And also, this young lady is very, very talented, plays flute, piccolo, and she picked up tenor sax because she likes doing the jazz band stuff, and she is an awesome talent from Rice High School. This is Erin Manningly. And this young man hails from the east side. He's from Harrison High School, and he plays the biggest saxophone we have here. He sounds really, really great, and it's hard to find players that can really play the baritone saxophone as well as he does. This is Nick Kuhn. Moving back here in the trombone section, we have a lot of talent. We just have 3 guys, but man, it sounds like 16 or 76 almost. Yeah. Okay, anyway, we have 3 of them. 3 of the best 76 trombones you'll ever hear. From Harrison High School, real talented young man. He's a senior out there, John Renner. And another very, very talented trombone player. You heard him do some solo work here. And he is from Central High School. This is John Lawton. And also from Central High School, they have a real good trombone section out there, don't they? Real good trombone section. Okay, and this guy plays some really fantastic low register things on trombones. Really, really talented solo player also, Sean Davidson. Back in our trumpet section here, first of all, this is a very, very talented section. You'll hear some more things from them in a little bit. Our lead trumpet player is from North High School, David Mills. And from Central High School, and he is a lead trumpet player out there, does a fabulous job, very fine tone quality, great leader here, Patrick Lewis, Central High School. And this next young lady, again, it's really hard to make this group. I hope you realize that. 17 kids from all 5 public high schools, and she made it as a freshman. She's very, very talented. She's from Wrights High School. Real good trumpet player here, Lauren Hart. And another really, really fine player. I'll tell you what, I've been blessed out at North to have some good trumpets this year. and you know, some real good talent here. This young man is a really good solo player, works really hard, and has been a real joy to have in my program out at North. This is Alex Smith. And also from North High School, this young man is, again, an upcoming talent. He's got phenomenal range, really great high register chops, and he's going to be a leader in this group for the next couple of years. Noah Stubbs from North High School. And moving over here to the rhythm section. We have a young man here on piano. He's a senior this year. He is a 4-year member of this group, and that again in itself is a big accomplishment. From North High School, Zach Fuchs. And on electric bass, he does a fantastic job of holding the beat together for us. Very, very talented. Also plays tuba in the EVSC Honors Band and Orchestra. Is that correct? And so he does about everything that there is to do as far as providing a bottom for just about all these honors groups. From Harrison High School, Patrick Swartz. And kicking the group over here, we have some excellent percussion kids. I think that Dr. Lacey will tell you that it's hard to find two really, really fine drum set players at one time, much less than one. And this year we've got two great guys over here. The first young man is from Harrison High School. He is also a 4-year member of this group, Blake Carter. And the next young man that is playing a lot of different percussion instruments back here has also done some fabulous stuff over here on drum set. Very, very talented young man from the west side, from Wrights High School. This is Nate Fleming. Okay, and speaking of Nate, you know, we've been talking about this all day long, haven't we, guys? Okay. You see, part of the challenge of picking a program is you need to try to find a nice ballad. And you know, Nate recommended this piece. This is one of his favorite pieces, and we were talking about how many times he went to see this movie, and it's countless. Is that right? It's just unbelievable. But anyway, he's seen this movie so many times. He just absolutely loves this song. You play this in your car all the time, don't you, Nate? Okay. Well, anyway, you might recognize this. It's from the Titanic movie. Okay, this is My Heart Will Go On. very much. Okay, this next selection was taken from a real famous trumpet player. A lot of you may have heard of Maynard Ferguson before. He is best known for probably playing the Rocky theme way back 20 years ago. But anyway, he again has aged through. He's still playing. I think he's probably 80 years old right now and still playing phenomenal trumpet. But anyway, this is a piece from his music library. It's entitled Caught in the Current. And we're going to feature a lot of different solos on this. We'll try to stretch this thing out, give all the kids a chance to play different things here. This is going to feature David Mills on trumpet, Alex Smith on trumpet, Chris Watson on tenor, Sean Davidson on trombone, Monty Skelton on alto, Aaron Mattingly on tenor, and Nate Fleming on drums.
One.
think? They do pretty good for high school kids, don't they? A lot of horsepower. This is like driving a Corvette. Now I get to drive it. This is fun. So anyway, we appreciate you coming out. We've got one more selection for you. And again, this is a pretty hot tune also. It's entitled Brass Machine. And we're going to feature a lot of soloists on this. And again, I'd like to thank Eastland Mall for taking the time to invite us out here, and we hope to do this again. If you like this, be sure to contact Eastland Mall and let them know. I think we need to do more this time. Get a chance to go to Indianapolis, or if you go to St. Louis, or if you go to some other big town, you know, you have groups like these out there performing, get a chance to hear this type of talent. Now, how many of you have ever heard a high school jazz ensemble before? Some of you? Okay. How many of you have never heard anything like this before? Okay. Well, that's interesting because, you know, a lot of people maybe have not heard this type of music or heard this type of group, and it's very, very exciting stuff. And, you know, this is not the only thing around here. We've got some very talented string orchestra groups, very talented orchestra kids that perform in the schools. There's a lot of neat things happening. So again, if you like what you hear, let people know that. Okay? And we're going to close out. I'd like to thank Scott Gibbs up here. Scott's from North High School. Scott's done a nice job of providing the sound for us and miking all the solos and everything, so I appreciate all his help today. And this last piece here, Brass Machine. This is going to feature David Mills on trumpet, John Renner on trombone, Patrick Lewis on trumpet, John Lawton on trombone, Aaron Mattingly on tenor sax, and we also have a little percussion thing back here. These guys, we're going to let them go for a while on our percussion section, Blake Carter and Nate Fleming. So we hope you enjoy this piece. It's entitled Brass Machine. Again, it's been my pleasure. I know a lot of you are parents and relatives of these kids up here. I'd just like to tell you, you've done a great job of making sure that they practice every night. This group up here is really, really tremendous to work with. It's been my pleasure and my privilege. I'm very proud of what they've been able to do, and it's very interesting to bring the talent from all 5 high schools together like this. You know, it's phenomenal. I know they've made a lot of friends in this group and also the Honors Band Orchestra. So anyway, again, thank you for being out here, and we'll play Brass Machine. So, that's one thing high school groups don't do. Now, we don't have an encore, I'm sorry, but did we have some fun tonight? You guys have some fun? Well, anyway. Oh, my goodness. Okay, so, we do have maybe one encore. I don't know if you saw it. Well, let me give you a little background on this. This is not really a piece of music. But what we do each year when I start these kids out, we do some improv things. This is a little piece that I came up with that it throws blues riffs out. Okay, we show them what a blues scale is first, a very basic thing. And so each pattern goes with the band playing 2 measures of a certain jazz riff, and then a solo player plays 2 measures, and we do that for a 12-bar blues pattern. So anyway, and we have each kid go around in the group, and that gives us a good chance to learn the improvisation, and it also helps their confidence level, tries to build their confidence and so on. So anyway, they kind of like this. I don't know why, but anyway, we'll try it. This is called Minor Rock Blues.
Like I said, it's not really a piece of music, but it was an encore. So you asked for an encore, that's what you got. Anyway, thank you very much. We hope you enjoyed this evening, and it'll take us a little bit of time to get broken down here with our equipment. If you're a parent, if you can hang around, we'll try to make this go as quick as possible. Thank you very much.